Hello. I've never done anything like this before. We are going to be grading your Korean journals.
Oh.
I asked many of you out there on Twitter actually recently to send me your Korean journals, and a lot of people did. I got, I believe, 34 journals.
That's good.
Yes.
So Korean learners journals in Korean.
In Korean, yes. Before I do any of this though, I should introduce our special guest.
Oh yeah.
If you don't know who this is,
I am very special.
this is Hyunwoo, of course, from the wonderful, gigantic channel TalkToMeInKorean.
Thank you. You are here in the Talk to Me in Korean office today in our studio.
They haven't kicked me out yet.
Yeah.
So I figured let's film this video while I'm here.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do is I actually prepared all of the journals, and we're going to be picking some randomly. Those are going to be the ones that we grade and talk about. Why don't you pick the first journal that we're gonna grade for today?
Let me just pick a number.
Okay.
And how about number 10?
Number 10, okay. And this person is named Lexica on Twitter.
Okay.
Oh, this one has a prompt.
Oh.
So about pancakes.
Pancakes. So you need to write about pancakes. And you wrote about 전.
Oh, I see, yeah, kimchi-전.
But you know, a common translation for the Korean 전, the stir-fried food with lots of vegetables and seafood, that's called 전, but also commonly translated to Korean pancakes.
It kind of looks like a pancake though,
It's flat.
But you don't eat it with maple syrup.
No. Anyway, if you know 전, that's what this person is talking about. 화요일에 결혼 기념일이기 때문에 우리가 식당에 갔어요.
Okay.
삼겹살과 갈비와 콘치즈와 김치전을 먹었어요.
Yeah, you read very well.
Thank you.
I've been practicing Korean for a couple decades now.
Yeah, more than a couple. 김치전이 빨갛고 맵고 맛있었어요. 맥주 마시고 쌈을 먹었어요.
One thing I noticed right away though is that it's simple and easy to understand.
It's great that you are listing simple facts, but at the same time there's a flow here.
Yes.
Like you went to this restaurant, why, and you ate what, and you are describing the food. There was music, but no K-pop, so you were sad.
Right.
What a nice journal entry.
Yeah, and one other small thing I really like is that I know it's not necessary, but you wrote the date in Hangul as well, which although, you know, Koreans don't do that obviously, but since this is your Korean practice, I think it's really good. A lot of people don't know that June should be 6월.
Not 6월.
Right.
And you wrote the date in numbers in the same order that people in Korea use.
That's right.
Year, month, day. So that's good.
So then let's quickly cover just a few things of how you can improve.
Okay.
The first thing actually I want to point out, and that is I think we're going to see this appear a lot in the journals that I received, and that is the plain form. So for example, when you write a journal, normally you would write it in the plain form, so 한다, 했다, 이다. The fact that it's not written in that doesn't make it strange, but it sounds more like, I guess, more like a letter.
Instead of saying 식당에 갔어요, you're talking about changing it to 식당에 갔다. Plain form. You're not like talking to anybody in particular,
right?
But you're just stating the fact, and you are just, you know, writing in your journal. Changing everything into the plain form will make every entry look more like a journal entry, but at the same time, for a learner,
it's not required. Yeah,
it's not required. So it's fine, but it just helps to know that that form is also there. Okay, and one thing that I want to mention, you were saying that there were many people, and the sentence you wrote is 많이 사람들 있었어요.
Right.
Switch the word order between 많이 and 사람 and say 사람들 많이 있었어요.
Okay.
That flows more naturally.
Right. So yeah, just keep in mind that 많이 is an adverb, so it should be used directly before whatever verb, in this case, 있다, to exist.
Great job overall.
One more small thing would be at the end, K-pop을 없기 때문에 instead you'd want to say K-pop-이. So you wouldn't use the object marker since there isn't an action verb doing something to K-pop. Maybe like K-pop을 들어요, 좋아해요, something like that. But if you're using 없다, which is simply to exist, you would not use the object marker. Yeah, great job in your journal, Lexica. And let's check out the next one.
Okay. The next number I would like to pick is 18.
18, okay. Do you have any order for these, or are you just
No,
randomly
just
picking?
randomly.
I got this one through email, and it's from someone named Elle.
Oh, it's like a letter.
Yeah, it's like a letter as well. The first thing I noticed though was the use of whiteout to make fixes. That's kind of cute. I haven't seen whiteout used in a long time, I guess. 안녕, 잘 지냈니? So in the very beginning, it sounds definitely like a letter, but then after that, it switches to plain form.
Yeah.
요즘 너무 바빴다.
But okay, so this plain form, when you write it in your journal entries and using the same form, 바빴다, to somebody, 요즘 너무 바빴다. Saying it to someone sounds like very casual. So I think you are switching to just plain form.
Right. And all of it has plain form with the exception of one sentence toward the end. 날씨가 너무
너무
더워.
더워. Instead, you want to say 요즘 날씨가 너무 덥다. Okay. But other than that, you are listing what you did. Topic 1, 시험을 봤어.
Oh, nice.
너무 재미있었다.
Really?
Great, yeah. I'm happy that you enjoyed
Took a
the
test
topic
and
one.
had fun? Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy tests too. 언니가 치마 2개 하고 상의 2개 줬다. So you're talking about going shopping with your older sister and you got something from your older sister. 너무 예뻤다. They were so pretty.
Oh, I see here they have 예쁘다. So they're just a little typo. It would be 예뻤다 or 예쁘다.
Yep.
I like though that you fixed some parts and rewrote where you saw your own mistakes. So I can tell that you put a lot of effort into this journal.
Even if you see small errors here and there, even if Billy says that, oh, you made a mistake here, don't worry too much. As long as you keep writing in your journal, keep writing as many paragraphs as possible, eventually the little things that you kind of, let's say, made a mistake with, you will automatically self-correct it. Like topic 1, with 시험, you want to say 시험을 보다, like
right.
take a test, 시험을 봤다, but
Right.
you said 시험을 했다, that's fine. And next time you talk about 시험, maybe in the meantime you have read somewhere this word.
Well, this video, when they're watching this video right now.
You might have had, some information in the meantime, and then the next time you write, you're like 시험 봤다.
Yeah.
So keep writing.
And one more small thing at the very end is 겨울 빨리 와고 싶다. Or I think they were trying to say 오고 싶다. Like I want it to come quickly.
So you want to say 빨리 왔으면 좋겠다. Yeah. It's a different
right, different
structure.
different grammar forms. Use it 왔으면 or even 오면 좋겠다.
Nevertheless, you used the grammar point that you do know to express a thought that maybe you would otherwise feel reluctant to express.
Yeah.
I love it.
Good job. Let's pick the next one.
Okay, how about 31?
31.
Yeah.
That's my favorite number because I used to work at Baskin Robbins.
Wow, what a predictable answer.
This one is from McIver Tanisha.
새벽
Yeah.
12시쯤에 나랑 언니랑 언니의 친구 존이랑 집에서 도착했다.
Nice.
2주 전에 언니와 존은 전화로 대화를 했고 이 여행을 준비하고 있었다. Everything in platform. 여행은 괜찮았지만 그렇게 좋지도 않았다. 그냥 그렇다. 다음에 우리 더 잘 정리해야겠다. 난 그냥 우리 지난주에 여행 이야기를 쓰고 있다. 이거는 내 하루를 이야기 쓴 것이 아니다.
Sounds like a narrator. You went into your narrator voice as soon as you started reading it.
I also fixed some things
Yes,
here and
yes.
there. But great, I enjoyed reading this. And the handwriting is much better than Billy's.
Well, that's honestly, that's not saying much though. I like that you filled up the lines nicely. It doesn't look like characters are, they're not lopsided or anything. They look nice and neat in the lines.
Simple things like really like small suggestions to make. 여행은 괜찮았지만 그렇게 좋지도 않았다. It wasn't that good either. And then you wrote 그냥 그렇다 in the present tense suddenly.
Right.
So maybe you're not used to saying 그냥 그랬다. So in the past tense, you can use it in the past tense too. 그냥 그랬다. 그냥 그랬어요.
So just making sure the tenses match in all of the sentences.
How was the collab video with Billy? 그냥 그랬어요. Yeah. Or I could say, tell the truth.
그렇게 좋지도 않았다.
How did you know?
I knew you were going to say something like that. And then I did see a typo, though I did see it twice, so I'll point it out. And that is 야기를 쓰고 있다, but it says 쓴고 있다. But that's just a small typo. I'm sure you know the verb is 쓰다.
Yeah, because you wrote 준비하고 있다.
Right.
I'm sure 쓰고 있다 is already in your
I
head.
think it's just a typo. Great job. Let's go to the next journal.
Number 1?
That's my second favorite number.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Because I'm number 1.
Did you work at... all right.
Is there an ice cream place that only has one flavor? It's called Take It or Leave It.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like the handwriting.
Okay, this was by kitkatbunnn with 3 N's on Twitter.
If you could move to another country, which one would it be? Why? And grammar point.
I love that you have a topic and a grammar point.
다른 나라에 이사할 수 있으면 한국이나 노르웨이일 것이다. 한국에는 오랫동안 이사하고 싶지만 지금 이사하고 싶은지 모르겠다. 내가 한국어를 훨씬 더 잘하게 되면 아마 이사할 것이다. 비 오는 날을 좋아하는 것에 의해
There we go, there we go.
노르웨이에 진짜 이사하고 싶다. 내가 핸드폰에서 노르웨이 날씨 예측을 자주 본다. 그리고 항상 비가 오네다.
Okay.
그뿐만 아니라 자주 쌀쌀한 날씨이다. 나는 방탄소년단이 노르웨이에 여행한
There it is. There's
생각한다.
BTS.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that they tried to use that grammar form in the sentence. I think that's a lot of people I know when you're studying Korean, and I do this sometimes too, is when you're studying something new, you focus so much on just how is that form used and what's the conjugation that you forget I should actually practice this.
That's good. One thing, small things, but 날씨 예측, it's a good word. It's a word that exists.
It makes sense.
It makes sense. But maybe, I'm guessing, you looked up weather and forecast.
Separately. Right.
Weather forecast in Korean more commonly is 일기예보.
Another thing I noticed is for 그리고 항상 비가 오네다. I think I know why they said that. They were trying to express it's always raining, but I should use the plain form in this, right?
비가 온다.
Right. Sad news, but you cannot use those sorts of expressive endings in plain form because it is plain. It's boring. So you have to simply use 온다.
Also, I just remembered. You can just drop 다. 그리고 항상 비가 오네. That's fine.
Just notice that plain form stuff would be for whatever you want to sound like the journal, and anything else that's not in plain form sounds more like you're just expressing it.
And one last thing that I want to mention, 이사하다 is a very neutral term for moving. But you usually use 이사 가다 or 이사 오다. You need to pick a direction. Are you going far away or are you coming this way? 이사하다 is only used for very general descriptions like it's convenient when you move. 이사할 때 편해요. Because you have specific destinations. 한국, Norway. 이사 가다.
And a couple other tiny things, but I think the only one I would mention would be the very end. You said 생각한다, so you're trying to think. I also think about. You wouldn't use 생각한다, but maybe here 생각난다.
If you actively spend time thinking about, like contemplating something, maybe 생각한다 works. But if you are reminded of something, 생각난다 comes
like,
out.
I always think about this. Then you would use 생각나다. Great job overall. I think these are BTS members wearing cow suits. Next one.
Let's go with 22.
22, okay. This one, they also included a movie ticket. Is this the quantity or is this the price of the items they got at the theater? Because honestly, it's like 20 trillion. I mean, I know that's similar to what a popcorn costs in Los Angeles.
I think it's quantity.
Probably quantity, right? Something wrong with the way it printed out.
2 like million trays.
Yeah.
엄마랑 아빠랑 같이 커피를 마셔요. 그때 아빠 혼자 회의를 가요. 엄마하고 같이 영화를 봐요. 우리가 극장을 가요. 메이의 새빨간 비밀. I
guess that's the name of a movie.
Yeah, automatically said 거짓말.
새빨간
is
새빨간 is usually with 거짓말, like that's like a blatant lie.
Yeah, blatant lie.
Something like that.
새빨간 거짓말. But anyway, 새빨간 비밀을 봐요. 재미있어요. Everything in the present tense. That's good.
I was going to remove points for writing everything in the present tense, but they wrote a translation in English that's also in the present tense. My guess is that they haven't yet learned the past tense, but that they're trying to write something.
Yes, but at the same time, you might be tempted to write everything in the present tense because in English, like all the novels,
it's written in the present tense as well.
It's in the present tense, like Billy wakes up one day.
Yes,
and
wakes up very late, misses his appointment.
Something like that. But in Korean novels, everything's mostly written in the past tense. 했다, 이렇게 말했다.
I would just change that. I can't really think of anything else that I would really
I mean, reading up until this point, many several journals, entries by other people, makes me want to write journals in other languages.
Really?
Again, like I used to do those.
When you were learning your other languages,
yeah, but
your other 50 languages.
No, but not anymore because I got busy.
But lately, yeah, you're busy with a little company called TalkToMeInKorean.
Yeah, it's
taking up
not
most
too
of your
big,
free
but
time. It's a little a
busy.
side project, like a hobby.
Come on, are you jealous?
A little bit,
Yeah, okay.
a little bit. How many employees do you have here?
Currently 29. 28. Sorry,
Okay.
28.
Well, including you then, 29?
No, 28.
Okay, including
29.
me then, 29, right?
Are you like
Okay, we're gonna do
28?
we're gonna do 29.
Okay.
See, it's FLDK underscore FLZH. I can't pronounce your name on Twitter. And oh, I see right off the bat you're using some more advanced grammar.
지구 온난화로 인해 due
Yeah.
to global warming.
Very advanced.
그래서 북유럽으로 이사할 것을 고려 중이다.
Again, we have 이사하다. It sounds quite formal, I
Yeah,
guess.
in this case, because you are using 고려 중이다, 이사할 것을 고려 중이다.
It fits.
Strangely fits. 코펜하겐에서 4개월 동안 인턴십을 해봤다. 여기에서 생활비가 좀 높은 편이어도 삶이 정말 좋더라고요.
Okay.
Okay, so you're mixing plain form and your form. 그래서 덴마크에 사는 것을 고려해봤지만 프랑스에서 덴마크까지 버스나 기차로 다니면 시간이 오래 걸렸다.
Okay.
Great job. Here, just to give you some feedback about 좋더라고요. You can say 삶은 or 생활. 생활은 정말 좋다.
Yeah.
That's good enough.
It is a more advanced expression, 좋더라고요. You don't really need it in this case since you are describing it right now. And 좋더라고요 kind of sounds more like you're reminiscing, like you're recalling something from your memory. But if you're already writing it down, you don't need to emphasize that you're trying to pull it out of your memory. You can simply state it, like it is good.
But if you're on the phone and
Then-
you are relaying your experience, 좋더라고요. I
Right.
found it to be good.
Very good overall. I see lots of higher level grammar here.
Very long too.
Yes. Okay, so what can we help them with to improve?
In the last sentence, 살기가 편하다고 했다.
Okay.
You wrote 살기가 편한다고
Yeah.
했다, but 편하다고 했다 is more correct.
That's just simply because 편하다 would be a descriptive verb.
If you can write every single day like this in this length, you will achieve great results. Like if you can write it like this.
Right.
So that's good.
Other than that, I might recommend, and I usually try this as well, try to write a little bit slower. Normally my writing speed's very fast, but when I try to write fast, sometimes my writing, although it's correct stroke order, it doesn't look as pretty as when I take my time and write. So this is just a suggestion, not for your Korean ability so much, but for how it looks. I really like this one.
That's great.
Okay, two more. Because we're doing two more, why don't we do two?
Okay.
Okay, this one's from Andre Army 1.
Great handwriting, very easy to read, very clear. 안녕하세요. 저는 안드레아예요. 콜롬비아 사람이에요. 회사원이에요. Everything is short and sweet.
Right.
보통 저는 제 집에서 일해요. 제 집에 일해요 is what you wrote. 집에서.
Okay, so very small correction we can
Yeah.
make there.
저는 공원에 가요. 아침에. 그리고 운동해요. 집이 공원 앞에 있어요.
Okay.
Other than 집에
No,
일해요, needing to be changed to 집에서 일해요.
I only see one other thing that I would fix. 저는 공원에 가요 아침에.
Yeah, that works
It
too.
makes sense.
Yeah.
For that, typically you would put the time something happens toward the very beginning of the sentence, either maybe right after the subject or right before, depending on the nuance you want. So maybe 저는 아침에 공원에 가요 could work a little bit more naturally.
What I found interesting was this sentence, 집이 공원 앞에 있어요. Typically, as a language learner, you would think of it like this, like in front of my house, there's a park.
Okay.
So 집 앞에,
집 앞에 공원이 있어요.
But you wrote it like my house is right in front of a park.
Right, because this requires you to understand how 앞에 is used, because 집 and 앞에 are divided by 공원. So you really have to understand how to use those postpositions to do this.
And this sentence really sounded natural.
Yeah,
So
my house
I like
is in
it.
front of a park.
집이 공원 앞에 있어요.
Okay, and then let's go on to our last journal for this video.
Okay.
Which one's it gonna be?
15.
Okay, this is from Taryn. I also received this one by email. First thing I notice is the font.
Everything's very square.
Yeah, it's very squarish. So good and bad. We could talk about that in a little bit, but it's easy to read.
수요일이고 6월
You were again nice job writing it out.
22일 2022년. The order
The year would be first, but other than that, okay.
in Korean at least. 오늘 일하고 싶지 않아요. 안 왔어요.
A lot of people can write that same sentence.
일하고 싶지 않았어요. I didn't want to work. 조금 아픈 것 같아요. I think I'm a little sick. 저는 많이 잤어요. I slept a lot. 5시 잤어요. Maybe 5시간.
Right.
For like 5시 is 5 o'clock. 5시간 is 5 hours. So there's that difference. And here you are talking about your mom's birthday, which was 2 days after this journal entry. 엄마의 생일은 이 화요일이에요. This Tuesday.
Right. You would want to use 이번.
이번 화요일 or 이번 주
Right.
화요일. This
So,
week's Tuesday.
I think overall, though, your verb conjugations are pretty good. You have, 가요, 같이 먹어요, 피곤해요, 잤어요, 사랑해요. All the conjugations are really good.
Yeah, you're talking about surfing and you wrote
yeah.
surfing. Spelling is surfing. You write it with so, but pronounce it with so.
Many of the Korean words, especially many Korean words that come from other languages like English, tend to get the double consonant
sound
when you say it, but not when you write it. Same with things like bus for bus or like 카페 for cafe.
박스.
Yeah, 박스
for 박스.
And then one other small thing I saw was they wrote 저는 5년 서핑했어요.
5년.
5년. Typically, if you're counting years, you would use the Sino-Korean numbers, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So you can say 저는 서핑을 5년 했어요.
I did surfing for 5 years, or 5년 동안, if you want to add in 4.
That's good.
Yeah.
Great job, great length.
Great. I guess that was the last one I wanted to do. All right. That's pretty much it. Again, there were a lot more journals, but this is all that we have time for today. If you liked this video, maybe I can do a separate video later where I grade even more. Huge thank you again, everyone, for sending in their journals.
Yeah, and I believe this was a good opportunity for you if you didn't like keep the journal beforehand, before Billy asked you to do that. So make these similar opportunities for yourself. Like maybe instead of just writing in your personal journal, maybe write that somewhere in the notepad and then like post
I
it
have
on
an
Instagram.
idea.
You have an idea?
I have an idea. Hold on.
Also, for example, you can follow a book like this.
I just thought of this when you were saying, like practicing. It's a new book they have for practicing writing that gives you prompts with examples that you kind of can follow along and write your own sentences in.
So for example, day 25 in this book says, 벌써 so and so 이네.
You have to show it to the camera.
Yeah.
They
Wow,
can't see it.
it's already so and so.
Yeah.
So you can of course apply it to various things like, oh wow, 벌써 8살이네. Wow, he's already 8 years old. 벌써 끝이네. Wow, it's already the end. Yeah. So what I mean is, if you can make it public, do it. It's going to help you a lot. So that's it, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. Again, thank you for appearing on my channel.
Thank you for visiting us and filming this video with me, and now get out.
See you next time.
See you next time.
그럼 다음에 또 봐.
Bye bye.